Okay, pilots, got an important step here. Important step. I've got the glue my tail feathers on. Okay, so I'm not going to be doing any super gluing on this one. This has got to be some measurements being made, and I've got to make sure everything's square, and then let it sit and dry a little bit, and we got to put the next piece on. So it's not really going to be waiting around for things. We got to put a couple of pieces on this piece here and the elevator. All right, now I've got my epoxy here. I've had to start using a different kind of epoxy, JB Weld 5-minute epoxy, because I can't find no more mother stuff. Just nobody carries it anymore. So I get the mixing tip. I think we got everything ready. I'm gonna point it down here a little bit. Let's see a little bit better. But as you can see, I got my gold is now brown, and I've got my wing set exactly where it's square and where it's supposed to be, so that I can make measurements off of it to the corners to make sure my tail here is going to be square. So I've took a piece of it off. As you can see, these outside lines here is where I traced it after laying it on the plane, and then I cut about 1/4 inch in from it, maybe a little less, 3 millimeters maybe. And same thing to the top side, and made sure that the other piece had it cured, but it looked like it was already cured from the factory. And I don't want to use that first little bit coming out of that new tube. Let me squirt a little bit of that out. Get that going. The factory gives you some servo horns and push rods, and they're fairly nice. They're kind of a different type than I've ever seen, but they work good. Don't want too much on there. I don't want it to splatter out everywhere. But I kind of want my tip to be going. Give me time so it can be used to do my other piece. Now I can just set this on here. It's got a little groove here cut into it, but I don't want no glue to get back there and get on my elevator rod. Alright, let me get my lamps on and check, see if I got any squeezing out on the bottom. That's looking good. Alright, now I could have done all the measuring and marking before, but this gives you a little time. I'm going from that corner there. Oops, moved it. $32.5. Oh, it's just got to move a hair. Come on now. Goodness gracious, I mean, it was less than a hair. More. Uh-oh, too much. Goodness gracious, I knew it'd be that way. You get to the spot you need to, and it's just all over the place, ain't it? Come on, 32.5. Just a little bit more. A little less than 32.5. 32.5. Let's see here. Too much. It's gonna be a little less than 32.5. Just a little bit less than 32.5. A little bit less than 32.5. A little bit less than 32.5. Yep. Okay. Now I got to get this on there and just keep checking. Just keep checking. Keep checking. Just keep checking. Yeah, I still got to glue my actual rudder in, but that's okay. You've got to have all this squared up first and everything, so this has got quite a little bit of area here to cover. So I'm just gonna let that squeeze out good. See, I got a little bit of brown to touch up there. I want to check. Okay. It ain't moved. That's steady. All right. It's looking center now. When I had it up against that wall there, it was good and 90 degrees with everything. So I think we got a good setup right there. I think we set up pilots. It's already had the factory slits in it for the rudder. That's gold there. I might, when I get my rudder off, I might go ahead and touch all that up. Take care of that. But let's let that set. And I'll show you around the plane. Let's see here. Let me show you this. Okay. Look at my homemade guns here. The bottom one there is an old 50 caliber out of the B-17 I didn't use. And the top one is actually the gun that they send it with you. With the model. But I've cut it out and put another barrel on it to make the two barrels look like they're the same barrels. And then I just built a wooden box, just made a wooden box and put it on the other side there to make it look like it was the machine gun body. Because on this plane it had quad machine guns. You know, it moved up and down, turret turn and up and down. But I don't think I'm going to be able to make the turret turn or the guns go up and down. I believe it's not really made to do it. And I could make a base and cut it out, but I think that's just a little bit too much. So I'm going to have my quad guns on it. Could have got somebody to 3D print the original gun. Goodness gracious, the paint was still wet. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. But, you know, I can't sit around and wait. I've got to do something. But that's glued in. Got them wing flares mounted. Now since I got those wing flares mounted, both sides there. Got the wing set where it's supposed to be. Not gonna have to worry about making them measurements no more when I take the wing off. But I got 3 screws right here. And again, this is a bottom feeder. So I'm gonna reinforce it where these screws go in. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. Look at my red indicator. And I'm gonna try to attempt to be able to take this canopy off instead of the whole wing off to put my battery in. Have my receiver sitting up here, and I'll have a pilot. And this is tinted. You really can't see inside of it, so it might not be a gunner, but they will be a pilot. And I had to order a motor and prop and stuff. I think I'm gonna be able to use the FMS 1400mm P40 prop motor and shaft and motor mount and everything. I believe that'll push this plane. Okay, pilots, that's my weekend update. I've got my tail feathers glued on now. I got one servo operating my elevator, not elevator, but rudder, because I was testing my wheel out, making sure my wheel was working and everything. Got my buckets all in my landing gear, took care of. Got landing gear doors on, or, you know, you can't see it really, but got them doors on it. And I got there's a radiator vent goes in right here. I can put that on there since I'm not gonna be able to worry about taking the wing off no more. I can leave it on there too. Alright, pilots. Got a little ways to go on this one. Got a couple servos to get, and motor and ESC things. I'm out.